So just what's the environment right now? What's the energy in the room as you guys get back in there?
It's been really good energy in the room. Really since this summer is where I saw a real transformation. Just guys that were kind of really just came together, really good motivated group. I think summer was a part of that, and I think I said it in a different interview where it's, they have that little taste of success, and Marcus Coleman's a good example of a guy that's right there to kind of be an All-American and then just falls short. But they see it and they really believe it, if that makes sense. And you can feel it up and down the lineup of guys that have come to really work. So it's been fun. Like I said, since this summer, we had a really good training phase there, and then the start of the season's been good. So excited to see where they're at.
So you guys are kind of back to that whole, really young team, starting sort of fresh in some weight classes. What has it been like to kind of get these guys prepared for wrestle-offs and to see who can really take ownership of those spots?
It's kind of a unique year because you've got young guys, but they're not. That was kind of the inherent bonus, or the bonus part of COVID was that these guys that were freshmen got to go and get in the lineup. So they got to have some really valuable experience that sometimes you can't get quite as a redshirt. Like having a 1 hour weigh and having to wrestle in Hilton, that is a different experience than making the freshman mistakes and going to some open tournaments. So I think, from my evaluation, I think that they're really ahead of the game as far as, hey, you went through this last year, you made mistakes as far as your weight or whatever, your preparation. So the hope is that this year, even though they're still freshmen technically, that they're more prepared, right? Because they've kind of had that year under their belt. So,
what have you seen out of the guys who are going to have to step up, and fill in Gannon's shoes at heavyweight, or say, the gap's still at 165?
I think it's the same message. It's the same message, and 65 is a really good example where obviously there's not a for sure set guy there. None of the weights are, but that's one good example where it's like, hey, who wants to be the guy? And this is the message we kind of given all along ever since we've gotten here, which is like, stand out. Go and be the guy. Take ownership of that weight class. Don't make it be something where everyone's on the same level, and then now the coach has to pick a guy who he thinks is, put yourself in a situation that we have no other choice other than have you be the guy. Because at the end of the day, you're going to serve yourself best. You're going to serve your team best that way. So that's kind of the challenge I have with those guys is, put it on your shoulders. Take on that responsibility and go in the weight class.
What's it been like to see Ian, go through the decision of bumping up a weight and now, at 149 with Jarrett? What's that been like?
I think it's been good. I don't think there's been animosity or anything like that. I think it'll be good. It'll be a good move for Ian, that he'll be strong, and it'll probably be a little different, right? Because different weight class, the guys are definitely wrestle a little bit different. But I think it's a good move for him. And between those two, I think it'll be same sort of thing where they're raising each other's level, and best guy wins sort of thing,
What's it been like for you guys to have guys like Ian and Jarrett, and really even David coming back as a champion, really step up as leaders in the room?
It's great. Obviously the more guys that you have that are doing, let's just say, the right things or are a good example, the more people that our team can come around, right? The more examples you have in the room every day. It's one thing for a coach to sit here and say, hey, he's got to be done this way, this way, this way. But when it's being done and they're surrounded by guys, more and more guys that are doing it the right way, they got no option other than to start doing it the right way, or it's going to get left behind. So, and that's part of the energy. That's part of the stuff where I'm feeling where these guys are answering the bell. And that's probably a large part of it is you starting to get guys that are bringing their level up higher.
If you had to pinpoint one thing you're excited about for this season, other than just getting back in there and going back to normalcy, what are you looking forward to the most?
Probably a lot of different things. We got a lot of different variables in every different weight class. I just saw Younger's head. Obviously that's one of them. Younger, you can see where he's at. He's worked so hard from last year where he was at till now. To see kind of where he stacks up. You talked about the young guys, the freshmen. To see if they've learned from some of those mistakes and things from last year, because those guys certainly had a lot of ability, and to kind of see how that summer training and how that experience last year translates. At the end of the day, as a coach, you work with them, but then you got to sit back and watch. Sit back and watch and see where they're at. So that's what's exciting to me. See how we've done.